Recursion is a way of solving a computational problem by reducing that problem into simpler instances of itself. Let me show you what I mean. Let's say you wanted to find the factorial of a number. Let's say 5. 5 factorial is nothing but 5 times all the numbers that come before it. So 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. Now we want to solve this using recursion. We have to figure out how to reduce this problem into a simpler instance of itself. And in this case it's pretty obvious. So this blue part over here is nothing but 4 factorial. So we know that 5 factorial can be expressed as 5 times 4 factorial. And 4 factorial can be expressed as 4 times 3 factorial and so on. So you can do that till you reach this 1 over here, and 1 factorial is just 1 because there are no numbers that come before 1. And in general, if you had a number n, its factorial would be n times n minus 1 times n minus 2 all the way to 1. So that's n times n minus 1 factorial. So let's try to implement a recursive function to find the factorial of a number. Let's create a function. It's going to be called factorial, and it's going to take in a number n as its input and return another number. Now we know that n factorial is n times n minus 1 factorial. We can compute n minus 1 factorial by using the same function. So we say factorial n minus 1. So what we're doing is we're calling this function from within itself. Now obviously this is not going to stop if we just leave it like this. We need to find like the simplest case of this problem and terminate the program then. And for this, the simplest case is when n is equal to 1. So when n is equal to 1, you don't have to reduce the problem further. We just know that we can return 1. And this case is called the base case because it's the simplest case. It's when recursion stops happening. And just like that, we've written a function to find the factorial of a number. It's just, 5 lines of code. The interesting thing about recursion is a function is calling itself. So from within this function, we're calling the same function. And that's why recursion is defined as when a function calls itself. Of course, what you're actually doing is you're breaking up the problem into smaller, simpler versions of that problem. Let's execute this and see how it goes. Let's find the factorial of 5. It's 120, which is right. 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1 is 120.